Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be I'm going to be telling you guys how to make a good loadout in Noobs in Combat. Now, of course, I play this game a whole lot, but I know a lot of you guys don't. So if you managed to find this video and are rather new to the game, then I'm here to teach you guys how to do it. So, and I'm going to be teaching you the properties and how well they can go together, and yeah, let's get started. Alright, so there are many different kinds of troopers. We're only going to be focusing on the army branch on this tab in the menu. So, of course, there are four main troops that I recommend. The grunts, anti-infantry units, anti-tank units, tanks, and supply units. These are the big four. The anti-infantry units are neat to cover other infantry if you're doing like the campaigns. If you're doing campaigns with a lot of infantry. Anti-tank to counter vehicles. Tanks for tanking damage, of course. And supply units. Now, there are of course other units as well, like artillery, radio, transport, but you don't need those, and your team can still win even without them. So now let's discuss how they go together. Alright, so now it's time to discuss which teams, how they go together, and what you should use. Now, I recommend going with the grunts for anti-infantry unit because they're low cost and they do a pretty good amount of damage. Oh, and also, you can also do stuff like the light gunner or the grunts M if you want to. I chose the RPG and I recommend it for anti-tank damage because it's probably the best anti-tank unit, because while they are short range, they're very good because they put out a lot of damage on vehicles, especially on lighter ones, and yeah, they will be crushed for sure. I recommend the battle tank because, in my opinion, honestly, the battle tank is the best unit in the game because it's just so durable and also just so much damage. Now, I just want to say one thing about the battle tank. It did get nerfed, okay? It got nerfed from last time, and now it can't like insta-kill any other tanks below it, below its rank. Now, supply carrier. I recommend doing the supply carrier because there are only 3 supply units. If you don't count the sapper, or because the sapper can only repair vehicles. I recommend using supply carrier because it's the best of supply units. For artillery, I go with the mobile howitzer for its mobility and splash damage. For sniper team, I go for radio, I go with sniper team because they have a long range infra chip damage. And for transport, I go with the IFV because it moves very fast and it does pretty good damage. Now, if you have like too many anti-infantry units, like say you have a medium gunner in addition to your grunts, try finding an anti-tank unit you have. Like, for example, let's say you need there. You should if you have the AT rifle, you should replace your medium gunner with an AT rifle because they are much better for that slot than a medium gunner. And it can be hard at first to get the tanks because there are a lot of different tanks. Like there's the light tank and then the medium tank. Well, there's the tankette, then the light tank, then the medium tank, then the heavy tank, then the battle tank. And you have to get the medium tank on it separately if you want to get the battle tank. And then there is supply units. You definitely want to keep. You only need them for one slot. And let's say you have like too many tanks. So let's just say you have like a bazillion. Let's say you have like a multi-L tank right here instead of your IF8. Don't do that. You're gonna want to do something. You are going to want to do something different and try to make things more different. Now, this loadout, you're not going to want to use the same loadout per map in the campaign because, trust me, not everything is going to be working. Like, for example, the recoilless rifle comes out of, where's the anti-tank gun? Where is it? There. I think it turns into the recoilless rifle. Definitely not anti-air gun. And I know it does the anti-tank gun. And I know the recoilless rifle is great for defense. Like for example, if you're doing offensive, you want to use RPG, but if you're doing defense, use recoilless rifle. Also, I like to use just the regular howitzer for howitzer. I do the howitzer for defensive, and I do mobile howitzer for offensive. So I'd recommend that. So that's like how they go together. And now let's discuss the other branches. Alright, now it's time to discuss the other branches because the deeper you get into the game, there are going to be more and more campaigns that you're going to unlock. But the one we're going to talk about is the Pacific Front, because the Pacific Front mainly focuses on air units and Navy units. That's going to be what you're going to want. That's where the Navy branch and the Air Force branch come into play. I personally recommend doing the light gunship if you're doing the Pacific Front, if it counts infantry, because I think minesweeping doesn't count infantry. I don't think it does. And if you're doing Navy, I recommend, well, I don't have a lot of Navy units. I just recommend like the destroyer, cargo ship. Just see what you can do with the Air Force. And yeah, that is going to be it for this video. So yeah, that is how to make a good loadout in Noobs in Combat. I hope you guys learned something from this video, and see you guys on the other side.